You studied for hours last night. This morning, almost none of it is there. A name you just heard is already gone. A page you reread 5 times feels blurry. You close the book and feel weirdly empty. And you quietly wonder if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. It is throwing away almost everything you learn on purpose. Not out of laziness, and not out of failure. Out of design. Your brain treats new information the way your phone treats a full storage bin. If nothing tells it this matters, it deletes it by morning. That is why last night's notes feel like a stranger wrote them. And here's the shift most people never hear. Your brain is not broken, you are simply using it backwards. By the end of this, you will know exactly why what you learn slips away. You will also know how to make it stick without studying longer. Let's start with the single biggest reason almost everyone forgets. You're trying to store information your brain thinks it does not need. Think about what happened yesterday minute by minute. You cannot, and honestly, that is a good thing. If your brain kept every sound, face, and sentence, you would drown in noise. So it filters, ruthlessly, constantly, automatically. Most of what you read or hear is filed as background static. It never even reaches long-term memory in the first place. This is the part almost nobody was taught in school. Learning is not about pushing information in. It is about proving it deserves to stay. Your brain is always asking one quiet question in the background. Will I ever need this again? If the answer looks like no, it lets the memory fade. If the answer looks like yes, it strengthens the connection. The trick is not studying harder, it is answering that question louder. Here is what is actually happening inside your head. Every new idea creates a fragile link between brain cells called neurons. At first, that link is thin, wobbly, and easy to lose. If you never touch it again, your brain trims it away within hours. This is real and it has a name. Neuroscientists call it synaptic pruning. Your brain is a gardener that cuts back anything it doesn't use. That page you read once was a seed you never watered. Of course it disappeared. Now here is where most learners go wrong. They confuse recognizing something with actually knowing it. You reread your notes and think, yes, I've got this. But recognition is not memory. It is just a familiar feeling. Familiarity feels like understanding, and it fools almost everyone. That is why you can highlight a whole book and still fail the test. The words looked friendly, the ideas were never really yours. So here is the fix, and it is smaller than you think. Stop trying to put information in. Start pulling information out. The moment you try to recall something from memory, everything changes. Your brain suddenly sees that link being used. It marks it as important. It reinforces it. It protects it from pruning. This is called retrieval practice, and it is one of the most studied tools in learning science. You do not need an app for it. You just need a blank page. Close the book. Look away from the screen. Then write down, in your own words, what you just learned. It will feel harder than rereading. That struggle is the point. That struggle is the sound of your brain building a stronger connection. If it feels too easy, no real learning is happening. If it feels a little uncomfortable, you are exactly where you need to be. Now let's talk about time, because time is the second reason things vanish. Over 100 years ago, a researcher named Hermann Ebbinghaus noticed something strange. He found that memory drops off sharply in the first day after learning. Most of what you lose fast. Not slowly, not gradually, fast. This is often called the forgetting curve. It sounds harsh, but hidden inside it is a gift. Every time you review something before you fully forget it, the curve flattens. The next drop is slower, and the next, and the next. That is why cramming feels like standing on sand. You are learning material once, then abandoning it to the curve. Smart learners do the opposite. They revisit at spaced intervals. 10 minutes later, a few hours later, the next day, later that week. Each visit is short. Each visit tells your brain, this matters, keep it. This is spaced repetition, and it is astonishingly powerful. 2 short reviews across 2 days can outperform an hour of cramming. Not because you worked harder, but because you worked with your brain instead of against it. Here's a mistake I see all the time. People confuse hours studied with knowledge gained. You can sit in a chair for 4 hours and remember almost nothing. Or you can spend 20 focused minutes and remember for weeks. The number on the clock is not the number in your head. Focus is the third reason things slip through. Your brain cannot save what it did not fully see. If you were half listening while checking your phone, you were half learning. And half learning always fades first. Every time you switch tasks, your brain pays a hidden cost. It has to rebuild context, reload the topic, and reconnect the threads. Do that 10 times an hour, and almost nothing gets deep enough to stay. This is why single tasking, boring as it sounds, quietly beats every clever hack. Now here is a question you have probably felt but never asked. Why do some things burn into memory forever with no effort at all? A song from your teenage years, a conversation that hurt, a place you loved. Those did not need flashcards, they stuck the first time. The answer is emotion, and it might be the most underrated learning tool of all. Your brain tags emotional moments as important without you asking. It floods them with chemicals that lock the memory in place. Boring material does not get that treatment. Which is why the fix is simple. Make the material less boring to your brain. Ask why it matters. Ask how you would explain it to a friend. Argue with the idea. Connect it to something you already care about. The more you feel about what you're learning, the more it stays. Curiosity is not a mood, it is a memory technique. Now let's talk about a quiet killer of learning almost nobody notices. Sleep. You did not misplace those facts. Your brain never got the chance to file them. Memory is not saved while you study. It is saved while you sleep. During deep sleep, your brain replays the day's important patterns. It moves fragile short-term memories into stronger long-term storage. Skip the sleep, skip the saving. One late night can undo hours of good learning. You do not need a perfect routine. You just need to stop robbing your own brain of the shift where memories become permanent. Here is another quiet trap: learning too much at once. Your brain has a limit on how much new information it can hold in the moment. Push past that limit and everything blurs. You will feel like you studied a lot. You will remember almost none of it. The fix is not fancy. Study in smaller chunks with real breaks between them. 25 minutes of focus, then 5 minutes truly away. During the break, don't scroll. Let your mind wander. Those quiet moments are when your brain quietly consolidates what you just learned. Boredom is not wasted time. It is often the moment learning actually locks in. Now let me pull back the curtain on something a lot of learners miss. Your brain learns by connection, not by collection. A new idea does not get stored in an empty room by itself. It gets tied to what you already know, like a rope thrown between two cliffs. The more ropes an idea has, the harder it is to lose. That is why teaching a topic to a beginner sharpens your own understanding. You are forced to link the new idea to the things you and they already share. Every link is another rope. Every rope is another reason it stays. This is also why real understanding sometimes feels slow. You are not just adding one thing, you are weaving it into everything. That weaving is the difference between memorizing and truly knowing. There is one more piece, and it might be the most powerful of all. Teaching. The fastest way to know if you truly understand something is to explain it out loud. Not to a professor, not to a camera, even to an empty room. The second you try to teach an idea, every gap shows up instantly. You will hear yourself get vague right where your understanding is weakest. That is not embarrassing. That is a map. Go back, fill in that exact spot, and try again. Do this a few times and you own the material at a level rereading can never touch. This is the shift I want you to feel today. You are moving from being a person who consumes information to a person who actually keeps it. From a highlighter to a rememberer. From a crammer to a real learner. And notice, none of this required more time. It required using your time the way your brain was built to work. So let's pull it all together into something you can actually use tomorrow. First, stop confusing recognition with knowing. If you have not tried to recall it, you do not know it yet. Second, pull, don't push. Close the book and write what you remember before you check. Third, revisit before you forget. A short review the next day beats an hour of cramming. Fourth, care about what you learn. Ask why it matters, or find a reason to make it matter. Fifth, protect your sleep like it is part of studying, because it is. Sixth, work in focused chunks and let the breaks do their quiet work. Seventh, connect every new idea to something you already know so it has more than one thread holding it in place. Eighth, teach it out loud even to no one and let your gaps show you what to fix. None of these are tricks. All of them are how your brain already wants to learn. You were never bad at remembering. You were just handed a method that was built for the classroom, not for your mind. Now you have the real one. Use even 2 of these this week and you will feel the difference fast. You will finish a page and actually keep it. You will walk into a conversation and pull up the name you needed. You will study less and know more, and that shift changes everything. Because at some point, this stops being about school or work. It becomes about who you are, someone whose mind can be trusted. Someone who can pick up a hard book and actually walk away changed. Someone who learns in a way that compounds year after year. That version of you is not far away. It is a few small habits from where you stand right now. If any of this hit home, take a second to like this video so more learners like you can find it. Subscribe to Bodhi Brain, because there's a lot more where this came from, and the next few will build directly on what you just learned. I'll keep making these as clear, honest, and useful as I can. Thank you for spending this time with your brain today. I'll see you in the next one.